Okay, this is the lesson on solving multi-step equations. You'll notice that in your textbook it's lesson 3.3. If you want to follow along, these examples are going to go mainly in your notes. So just having your notes will be satisfactory today. Your packet. So when we get ready to solve multi-step equations, there's 4 steps that we really want to follow when we do this. We did a little bit of a review with the distributive property and like terms, and then we did some practice of that, and so now we're on multi-step equations. So here we go. You will start by filling in these 4 steps. We'll revisit them again at the end. So let me just talk to you through them. You don't need to copy them down at this time. First off, let's look for anything that has the distributive property. Secondly, look for any like terms. Then let's get rid of any numbers that will be by themselves. And fourth, we'll get rid of the number by the letter, or otherwise known as the coefficient. Okay, I said I was going to revisit those, so don't worry about writing them down now. I'm going to talk you through them as we go. So our first step in solving multi-step equations is to use the distributive property if we can. Now, these are all 2-step equations, which we've already talked about. So I'm just going to kind of breeze through this first one. 3x minus plus 5 equals 12. Subtract 5. Subtract 5. Not a good color to write on this. Those will cancel. That one's not either. This becomes 7. 3x equals 7. X equals 7/3. It's okay to keep it that way, or to say 2 1/3. You don't want to put that as a decimal because it would be repeating. All right, so here's our first example to do with you. Step 1, distributive property. Any parentheses? No. Step 2, combine like terms. Do I have any like terms? Absolutely. 7x and 3x. We need to subtract. 7 minus 3 is 4x minus 8 equals 24. Voila! Now a 2-step equation. Add 8 to both sides. 4x equals 32. Now divide by 4, divide by 4, x equals 8. You can substitute it back in. 7 times 8 minus 3 times 8 minus 8, and you should get 24. Moving on to our next one. Distributive property. No distributive property. Look for like terms. 2 x's. 3x minus x. No coefficient. What can I put? I can put a 1. 1 understood. 3 minus 1 is 2x plus 15 equals 41. Subtract 15 from both sides. 2x equals 26. Divide by 2. X equals 13. Okay? 25x minus 16x minus 24. Look for distributives. No distributives. Like terms. Right here. 25x minus 16x is 9x minus 24 equals negative 65. I'm doing these without a calculator, and I would encourage you to help with your non-calculator portion on your testing. Add 24 to both sides. 9x equals negative 65 plus 24. Negative and a positive. We're going to subtract, and we're going to get 41. 5 minus 4 is 1. 6 minus 2 is 4. And it's going to be negative. Now we're going to divide by 9. You can leave it negative 41/9. I would take that. Sometimes that's easier to substitute in to check. Or you can change it into a mixed number. Last one. Negative 2/5 x minus 1/5 x plus 9 equals negative 1. Now, there's a couple of different ways we could solve this. You could go through the process like we have been, like terms, 1/5 x plus 9 equals negative 1. Or, and then solve the 2 steps from there. Or, we could multiply through to cancel out the fractions. Now, this is not a method you have to do. I'm going to show it. Some of you it may click, and this may be what you prefer. Let's multiply the entire fraction by a number to get rid of my denominators. If my denominators are the same, I want to multiply the entire equation by those two numbers, and that will cancel out, because watch, 5 times 2 is 10. What's 10 divided by 5? It's 2. So the 5's essentially cancel out. So I have 2x minus 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 divided by 5 is 1x, plus 5 times 9 is 45 equals, and 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. So then we end up with x plus 45 equals negative 5. Subtract 45, and we end up with x equals negative 50, which is what you should have gotten if you would have done it the first way. That is part 1 of multi-step equations. You'll need to now watch part 2 video.